YouTube. This is Frostbite coming at you on Christmas Eve. I hope you all are staying warm, staying safe. I want to talk to you today about counterfeit coins. And I'm going to begin a series on the various counterfeit coins, what you can do to combat against things such as identifying a counterfeit coin while you're doing a purchase online. What happens if you don't have a local shop to go to purchase your coins? How to identify common and known counterfeits, and kind of just some strategies to look at to help make you a little bit more informed. Now, before I begin, there are a ton of great resources available. A lot of the information that I pulled today came from sites like NGC, PCGS. There are some YouTube channels out there that um, I will put a call out in the description and where I got some additional information from. But I just want to kind of put some stuff together and really share just, how do you combat counterfeits? Um, there are some out there that are so good that they fool people daily. And even people that have been in the hobby for quite some time can get fooled by some of these counterfeits because some of them are extremely well done. And so today, I'm going to go over a couple things. This is going to be fairly short. None of these series are going to be very long, but I just want to provide some information. Now, today's on Morgan. Now, I don't know about you, but let's see if I can focus. It does not want to focus today. I think that the Morgan dollar is probably one of the most attractive coins. Now, this one has some issues with it. I've only got a couple Morgans. I don't have very many of them. And so when I go to purchase them because of their price point, I really want to make sure I know what I'm looking at. And so there are a couple things to look for. And so I'm going to begin a quick presentation here. And I want to talk about counterfeit Morgans. And this series is going to go over additional items. We're going to be talking about different strategies. We're going to be looking at different items. But I just want to kind of look at different things. So one of the first things you want to do is you're going to want to look at the weight, right? The weight is going to be one of those key factors. So it's going to be one of the key points that you're going to want to look at. Now, a Morgan should weigh 26.73 grams. And there's a tolerance of 0.097 grams. Now, if it falls above or below that, it's going to require looking at. The diameter of the coin should be 1.5 inches. And I don't really have, but a Morgan makes a really nice ping. There's a really nice sound to it when you hit it against other coins. Now, unfortunately, I don't have, but just the two. I got them both staged for today, and so I'm not able to demonstrate that sound. But when you hear the sound of a Morgan, you hear the sound of a silver coin. It makes a very distinct pinging sound. And then the other thing is, you're going to look at purchasing those. You're not going to see the same kind of scuff mark, mint marks, depressions, linear marks, things like that across multiple years of coins. And we're going to go through a PCGS example. I got a couple images on that here in just a moment to kind of talk about, what do you kind of look for? And one of the best pieces of advice that I could give you is if you're going to be buying it online, talk to your seller. Look for no returns accepted. Look for the number of items they've sold or the number of comments. Look at their percentage of comments. When you look at the sale, if you see 0, 1, or 2, it could mean that they're their first ones, but usually that's usually a flag, especially when you see coins on, for instance, eBay that are way overpriced, that have sold, that seem to skyrocket the price. And you see that, somebody with 100% approval rating with a N of 1, sold it to a person who has 0 positive feedbacks for an exorbitant amount. That's usually, something to scratch your head and go, something's fishy here. So when you're looking at encapsulated coins, now again, there's fakes here as well, so you got to be really careful. One of the best ones, Blue Ridge YouTuber, he has a really good video on looking at PCGS holders. What are the items? What are the markers to be able to do that? And I know there's a bunch of other ones, but this one is particularly good. If you haven't done that, I'll see if I can get the description and link below when I publish this video. Again, there's a ton of good information out there. So why am I doing this? Well, I just want to share and get the information out as easy as I can. Put it in a really plain language for people and kind of give them some examples. Because the more we can arm ourselves with knowledge, the less likely that people are going to fall victim to this. So talking about the counterfeit itself. So if the coin weighs, 22 grams, clearly that's a problem. If there's no distinctive ping, obviously there's a problem there. And I'm going to get into this next one a little bit more in depth. And that is if multiple years with the same mint or multiple mints have the exact same marks on the coin. So we're going to be talking here just a moment about the 1896, the 1900, and the 1902, I believe, O series. We'll go ahead and get to that now. And these are the micro S varieties. And so when you look at these, you're going to see these arrows. And these arrows have very distinct marks. And the marks are the same across all years. And this is never going to happen. You're never going to have an authentic coin that has the exact same field marks in the exact same location over multiple years. Now, you may have that through the same year, and that's going to be one of those identifiers to tell you if it is, in fact, an authentic coin. So, for instance, 1955 double die, there are some distinctive markers on that coin that you look for to verify that it's an authentic, right? The smile and Lincoln is one of them, and there's other field marks that you're going to want to look for to make sure that that is an authentic coin. But you shouldn't have those exact same marks across the 55, 57, 59, because they should, it'll definitely, it should definitely bring up some question as to the authenticity of that particular coin. Now, I'm going to break from this real quick, and I'm going to show you mine. So I'm going to pull this one up. Okay, so this is a 1900 Morgan dollar, and this is the field area that we're talking about. And if you'll notice that in this particular one, those field markers that were present in the other ones, those linear markers that were there, is not existent. And because it's not there and it's the same mint, same variety, then it tells you that it's most likely not one of these high grade ovens. And this is just located on my coin. So this is actually one of the coins that I have. And you'll see that marker is located right here. And I'll show you. This is the area here where that image is for the PCGS caption. And that's here. Okay, so when they're talking about this particular area, that's what they're talking about on the coin. So how do you detect these things if you're going to be buying them online? Well, as I said before, get to know the known strategies or get to know the known forgeries. PCGS has a really good breakdown of the known forgeries that they have. You're going to see some various billion places that have information on known forgeries and how to identify forgeries. Get familiar with those. If you're looking at buying a 1902 Mark Morgan, understand what you're going to be looking for. And if you're going to be doing this online, and the seller has horrible pictures, ask them to take a couple of closer pictures. And if they don't, consider looking at a different coin. Not everybody has the capability to really obtain high resolution photos of their coin. Um, but as a buyer, you really want that. You really want to be able to get that information and have a good image to help you make decisions off of. And if they only post two images and they're both really crappy and blurry and you can't see it, and they're talking about it being authentic, or they're giving a specific grade, but you can't see that from the picture, uh, doesn't necessarily mean it's a fake. Doesn't necessarily mean they're trying to steer you wrong. But there's plenty of other coins out there that have really good, solid images and buyers who are willing to work with you. If they don't have a picture of the coin on the scale, have them take a picture of the coin on the scale. I've done this with a couple ones. As many of you know, I fell prey to a 1873 trade dollar that was not authentic. And I don't have any problem admitting that, right? I want people to understand that we're all human, we all make mistakes, but I want my mistake to inform others. I don't want to sit here and hide in a hole and go, I don't want anybody to know that I made a mistake, or that I bought a counterfeit coin. But what I did in the process was to talk to the buyer and say, hey, I know you don't offer returns, but I'm concerned about the authenticity of this coin. If I purchase this, are you willing to accept a return? And then they said, yeah, not a problem. I have a money back guarantee. But it shouldn't be an issue. I have a copy of US coins and it says that it's within its tolerance. Now, what I didn't do is I didn't get enough information to make an informed decision, nor did I really pay attention because I really wanted the coin. And so my urgency to receive something without looking at all the information caused me to buy an erroneous coin. If you have it in an encapsulation, if you're buying an encapsulated coin, again, look for those markers. Look for those things like the PCGS stamp in the bottom right-hand corner. If it's CNC, I think it's CNC, there should be a little like logo in the bottom left-hand corner. Don't just look at the stickers. If it's a picture of a graded coin and they blot out the number so you can't research the number, again, those are little things that you need to look at, little flags that happen within the system. And then you're going to be looking at things like misspelling, right? One of the common ones in the E pluribus unum, right? And that is where they spell pluribus with a pluribus instead of pluribus. Now, that's not to be confused with the 1964D that has the known pluridus unum, which is a common, well-known die crack, right? So again, if you're going to be buying a coin, understand what the errors are, understand what the reproductions look like, understand what the common counterfeits are, and really inform yourself with these items. And then lastly, how do you combat it? Well, knowledge is power, right? And the people who hold the knowledge hold the power. And so counterfeiters and the people who sell counterfeit coins can only sell them to you if you are not paying attention to what's going on. Now, personally, I'm going to begin something here as I start to do this series where I'm actually going to be buying, and I really want to work on a typeset book of counterfeit coins and kind of go over the counterfeit coins and talk about, where they are. But I'm only going to be buying those coins from people who admit that they're counterfeit. I'm not going to be spending really good money. There are some extremely good artists that do, whether it be like movie props or whether they actually do coin replicas where they are very clear about it being a replica. They sell it as a replica. And I want to be buying some of these and putting a typeset album together to kind of show people differences, what's going on, look at how they're done. Because one, there's some amazing craftsmen out there, and to have the skill set to develop one of these, um, I want to acknowledge the craftsman, right? That's a trade that we're losing in our society. So I want to acknowledge the craftsman, And now I don't want to support counterfeiting at all. But if you're going to be making a replica coin and you clearly indicate that it's a copy or a replica and you sell it as such, then I have no problem supporting that. As long as people understand what they're getting into. Because there's some coins, the 1873 trade dollar, for instance, that there are many, many people who would like to have a version of that coin, but just can't afford it, right? And so if you want a replica, then that's fine. It just needs to be listed and stated as such. So I'm going to go back to this coin right here. And again, so when you're looking at the pluribus, right, so you would see that this U would be an I, for instance. Okay, so that one, just going to share that. And then when you're looking at things like liberty, when you're looking at things like liberty, you want to make sure that, for instance, look at the E. If that E doesn't have the two merging serifs on it and it's flat across the top, you want to make sure that that's authentic, because there are little details. If you have a T, that's a flat T across the top. If you have a Y with no serifs on the end, or you have a Y with serifs that go to the left, on that left hand side, it doesn't just go to the right and then across both on the right hand side. This area right here, right? If that goes all the way, and kind of go over various coins and talk about things from time to time, kind of go through some of the different varieties, go through some of the different counterfeits that are out there, and just inform you as best as I can. So I hope you've enjoyed this. This is coming to you on Christmas Eve. From my family to yours, I wish you a safe and Merry Christmas. You'll be seeing probably another video before New Year's. But if you don't see this video, or you don't see my next video before New Year's, the one thing that I always ask is, if you're going to be drinking, lose your keys. Your life or somebody else's life isn't worth a couple drinks. Buy you a cab, get you an Uber, and get home safe and sound so you can enjoy doing more within this hobby and enjoying the collaboration of friends. So with that said, God bless, take care. I wish you the best, and happy hunting.